The Great Divide Basin. Dry. Endless. Monotonous. And absolutely amazing. After struggling with motivation at the end of Colorado, I was really counting on this new landscape to turn things around. And ironically, it was the monotony of the basin that was going to break the monotony of the forest. It's Pace's birthday today. Happy birthday, Pace! He was to hike the amount of miles he's turning +1. He's turning 34, so we're gonna do 35 miles today. But we are also going into Grand Encampment to resupply a little bit and eat some food. So don't have a lot of time to do 35 miles. So it might be a late one today. But yeah, trying to push it as fast as possible to the road so we can hitch in. Hopefully that will be pain-free. Heard stories about 2-hour hitches from there, so hoping we can get a little bit faster than that. Trail magic. I got an apple and bear. That's kind of nice. I'm down at the road. It's a little bit behind schedule, so hopefully we'll be able to find a hitch quite fast. But there's no cars that I can see. Yeah, we'll see. So this is where things stopped going according to plan. We arrived at the road at around 11:45 with about half of the distance done, good progress and plenty of margin. But we still had our planned town stop to do, something that eats time faster than a thru-hiker can down a burger. We walked down to the second crossing, stuck our thumbs out and started waiting. This challenge is a yearly tradition for Pace, but for me it also felt like a good chance to start increasing my mileage. Since the basin meant long gravel roads and pretty flat landscape, it would be possible to start doing some really big days. Something I'd been striving for ever since I left the collegiates. How far could I push my daily mileage? I thought a big challenge was exactly what I needed. 2 hours had passed when we realized things were probably not going to turn out the way we wanted. And we didn't have much more time to wait around on this roadside. We decided we'd wait until 2:30, and if we hadn't gotten hitched by then, we'd just keep going. We didn't really need this town stop anyways. We had enough food to get by until Rawlins. What we really wanted was a birthday burger to enjoy some extra calories and charge our electronics. At 2:29 we started counting down to the moment of accepted defeat. But with 10 seconds left we heard the sound of a car. We stuck out our thumbs and hoped for the best. What we didn't know, however, was that the best thing would probably have been if the car had just kept going. On the whole, I was in a good mood. I just passed the halfway point on the Continental Divide trail and left Colorado behind. I was now about to enter a completely new landscape. 185 miles of desert basin lay ahead of me, and this 35-mile challenge would be the final part of the transition into that new terrain. But suddenly, we were in the small town of Saratoga, 20 miles north of encampment, the town we had asked our hitch to drop us in. I don't really know how it happened, he just kind of didn't let us off when we drove through, and neither me or Pace wanted to be rude or start an argument. Don't get me wrong, we're thankful for the people who pick us up when they really don't have to. But this ride ended up becoming a big hassle, with the added logistical challenge of hitching all the way back to the trail on a town stop that was supposed to be quick in and out. But we were immensely lucky. A girl working at a nearby ranch drove by and took pity on us. She seemed eager to meet new people, took an interest in our journey and soon decided to give us a lift the full 40-minute drive back up to the trail. If I'd been a bit annoyed by the first ride, the second one is still, to this day, in my top 3 hitches. All right, back on trail. Finally. We got a hitch after, I think, waiting like 40 minutes. It was the nicest hitch. She was just the nicest person, and yeah, I'm just very thankful that she picked us up. We didn't manage to go to a restaurant, eat some nice food like we wanted to, and also charge stuff, and I kind of need to order a new sun hoodie. Mine is totally destroyed. The only thing we managed to do was buy some groceries that we really didn't need anyways. But yeah, we got in there and we got out again, so yeah. Now we're gonna do like 18 more miles to do the 35 miles for today, and hoping to finish that before midnight. That's the goal, so let's go. Possibly some of the last snow we're going through. I don't think after today that it should be any more snow. Possibly like a spot or something like that up in Montana, but otherwise should be all dry. So a little bit more snow today, and then we're done. Oh, I am extremely thirsty. I am extremely thirsty. We are a little bit behind schedule because there was still a lot of snow up there, but we have water in like 2 miles, so I'm probably gonna do like a short 20-minute water break, and then there's like 8 miles left. If we can leave the water break before 9, we have more than 3 hours to do 8 miles, which should be doable, I think, even though it's getting dark. But yeah, it's a push. Absolutely beautiful forest here. It is right now 20 past 8, so it should be at the water within 5-10 minutes, something like that. I'm thirsty. I'm so thirsty. I really need water. Just had dinner. It's like 9:15 now. It's getting dark though. But yeah, 6.5 miles more to do. We pressed on through the dark for the last few miles and managed to hit the 35-mile mark for the day at 11:10, before soon collapsing into bed. Happy with this dramatic full first day in Wyoming. Ready to transition into the basin. Completing that big day gave me confidence. If I could push those miles in these conditions, maybe I could average big miles to the basin. 40 miles a day felt like a magic line. Arbitrary? Maybe. But I wanted to see if I could reach it. And being on the verge of entering a new landscape gave the extra motivational boost to try something new. Just started walking now. We got to camp just before midnight, I think it was. Yeah, pretty much crashed straight away. Cowboy camped. It did start to rain in the night, but luckily it was just a short 2 small sprinkles. Not too bad. Pretty tired today. I don't think I drank enough yesterday, and I'm also very hungry. I didn't get started until 9 o'clock now, so a little bit late. That is pretty bizarre. I think it's like 25 degrees Celsius. We're pretty much in the desert. We've gone down to the basin now, I think you could call it. And yeah, there's snow over there, which is, it's crazy. But no more no more snow on the trail at least, so good times coming. A lot of road walking. These roads are long. Just walking, and then you see like a 3-mile long road stretch that you know you're gonna do, and it's just like, whew, a lot of walking. But it's evening now, and it's kind of beautiful. Should probably try to walk more in the morning and the afternoon, although I have to walk in the middle of the day also. I think I'm gonna do like 2 more miles, then camp, I think it's like that motivation. I kind of lose that motivation when I get up too late. But tomorrow I'm gonna get up early. I'm gonna do the miles and it's gonna be beautiful. It ended up being a 26.6 mile day. I don't know if that's what you would consider a short day. Distance is, after all, a very individual thing in hiking. But for me, considering my ambitions at this point in my adventure and in this kind of terrain, I had expected more. And as if this wasn't enough, the motivational boost from the day before had not seemed to carry on into the basin. If anything, the day had just seemed more monotonous than ever. Beautiful. I have a bit of a blister under my foot, so probably need to put some tape or something on that for tomorrow. Seems like walking on a road all day. It is a bit of a monotonous. There is actually mosquitoes here. Yeah, it's a bit monotonous. Yeah, I have such a hate love to this kind. It is so nice in the mornings and the evenings, and it's so miserable in the days. And like the hiking, there's something with just walking on a road all day that makes it, I lose the variation. I need kind of some ups and downs and twists and turns, whatever. But yeah, this isn't too shabby either. The evenings. This road has it's actually quite much more beautiful today than yesterday. I've been enjoying it a lot more than yesterday. I think it's partly because today I'm doing a good pace. I got up in the morning, already soon done 20 miles, and it's just 11 o'clock soon. So that feels really good. But also walking in this kind of valley, I don't know if it's the right word, but there's like the cliff sides on the sides here that are, yeah, it's really beautiful actually. So it's still snow up there, which is crazy, but yeah, I'm enjoying it a lot. Super nice. It was immediately obvious that this day was going to be different. Having already finished a good chunk in the morning, the heat of the day felt more bearable and made hiking feel easier, even though it was just as monotonous and grinding as the day before. Even when we took a 90-degree turn and left the well-groomed gravel, it still felt like this was just a part of the adventure. The trail left the road and went onto a real trail, except there is no real trail. It's just like a marker every 250 meters, something like that. And then, yeah, there's some cow trails. And that's basically it. Fun stuff. Back on the road. Yeah, that was a fun little shortcut. Would probably have preferred real trail there, but it was kind of fun with a little bushwhack also. I love a good bushwhack sometimes. Yeah, gonna get to the picnic area and do some lunch and then It's not so much more to Rawlins. As we arrived for a late lunch at the picnic area, we had already covered 28.7 miles, which felt like a huge win. The miles just flew by that day, and up until this point I could barely even feel my legs. It was just such a contrast to the day before. The trail takes you straight down into downtown Rawlins, and we headed over to celebrate the day at the local American restaurant.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It ended up being 37.5 miles, my longest day on trail. Admittedly, this was not quite up to the 40 miles I'd been hoping for. There is a lot of talk about the long days people do out here, and I think I wanted to make my own mark on this spectacle, prove that I was a capable hiker and bask in the glory of being able to say I'd pull off this big feat. But of course, it's not reasonable to suddenly start averaging 10 to 15 more miles than your current pace. As happy as I was to have completed this big day, I started to realize my expectations was probably unrealistic. Still, I was determined to keep pushing my limits on this post-rolling stretch and try to repair some of my wounded ego.
Going out from Rawlins, like 15 miles out, something like that. It's a lot of bushwhacking going out of town. Yeah, not at all the speedy trail road that we've had before. So if it's gonna be a lot of this, then that might actually slow us down a lot. But we'll see. Sun is going down now. You can hike for half an hour, something like that, and then find a good camp spot. Yeah, looks like it's another nice cowboy camping night, so that's gonna be super nice. Actually, the trail is not too bad here. Hopefully it's possible to follow.
Even though I was quite tired from the long day before and the stressful morning of town chores, I enjoyed the hiking more and more the further into the evening it went. It was that same glow again, the one you don't get when you're in the forest. A gradient of pinks and purples and blues. This place really was a mix of some of the highest highs and lowest lows. And maybe, the most amazing thing of all, a perfectly flat and even camp spot. Well, perfect in every way but one.
About mosquitoes.
You wanna learn about mosquitoes?
Just like, what the fuck? You know, like... I mean, I know they serve a purpose.
Yeah.
But I just want to know what the fuck their motive is. Like, what the...
Yeah, me too.
Like,
Can we not just like agree to not have mosquitoes? I don't know where they came from. We're down in the Great Basin, which is supposed to be desert, I guess, or whatever. And there's just absolutely crazy mosquitoes here. It wasn't that bad when I got here. There was a couple of ones. I set up my cowboy camping setup, and then after a while they just went mad. And they're aggressive, mad, power-hungry mosquitoes. Yeah, at least I'm in this bivy thing, so that's good.
The cool morning air dissipated faster than I would have liked, and the basin started its slow grinding wear. The road I was walking that day was probably the longest and straightest gravel road of the entire CDT. I am at the top of, I wouldn't say a big climb, but we've been going up for a couple of hours now. But yeah, these plains are just huge. We're walking on this road. It's pretty much straight, and it's been going on like that for, yeah, a couple of hours now. But it's kind of beautiful. You see very far, and it's like very hard to judge how far away the things are. I can see like, you can see the trail probably like 10 miles away or something like that, which is pretty crazy. So far, I'd been continuously surprised by the water sources in the basin. Sure, there had been some distance between each source, but the quality of the water we had found had been surprisingly good, with a nice flow and mostly unpolluted by cows. What a beautiful water source! The pipe is just like gushing out water. It's pretty nice. I think we're up to like 27 miles now or something like that. I actually went a little bit further than first meant to, because I realized the first water source was dry. It was a creek that was just dry. There was some puddles, but I saw that there was this electric well, so that's something you don't say no to. Got some company with the cows, and yeah, it's gonna be a nice lunch spot here, I think. As the afternoon started to settle over the basin and the degrees of Celsius dipped into the more comfortable range, the degrees of Kelvin shifted towards those warmer tones I'd been missing all day. My legs started to protest once again as I approached that familiar mileage limit in the mid-30s, but I was happy to have put another day of gravel behind me. The basin had yet again drained me faster than I'd hoped, and I felt pretty wrecked during those final miles of hiking. Maybe I'd finally found that limit that I'd been looking for. But there was a silver lining. Even though the monotony was as bad as ever, motivationally I was feeling better, stronger. It felt good to check off another long day in the basin. So many great water sources here today. These pipes just coming out on the ground. Yeah, really cold and nice water. I'm super tired. My feet are hurting a little bit. I both have a blister and they're also just tired. And I have some chafing because my sun hoodie has a big hole on the back, so yeah, it's chafing a little bit there. But yeah, I'm gonna filter some water and then just find a place to camp, I think. Been a decent day. Tired but happy, we set up camp nearby and enjoyed another amazing sunset over the little knoll. The reward for completing a day out here felt so much stronger than it had before I left Colorado. There was a certain satisfaction in being under the open sky, feeling completely wiped and just hoping that a few hours of rest would reinvigorate me for another long, tough day. Another morning in the basin. We got a few clouds today, feeling decent actually. We're gonna try to do as far as we can today, and then we'll see if we can go in tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah, it's gonna be a few miles left to do tomorrow, so might be a little bit tight, but otherwise we'll go in on Wednesday morning, I think, so we will see. It's a lot of sandy trail, which has definitely slowed us down since yesterday afternoon. Kind of annoying, you know, that kind of walk on the beach kind of trail. I don't like it. Yeah, should be a good day, I hope. The calm of the morning was soon long gone. The clouds were thickening and the wind was picking up. So far we had seen the sunny side of the basin, and now we were being treated to its other side. Bad weather. Honestly, I don't even know which is preferable, having the wind or sun beating down on me. The basin keeps breaking you down, either way. It's quite windy right now. I don't like this. I'm tired. My feet are hurting, and still have like at least 11-12 miles to go today, but I'm gonna do lunch soon and see if that gives me some energy. It's just so open, and far. I tried to find what little shelter there was near a small pond. It didn't do much good though. Shelter is not prevalent out here. The water quality was nothing like those beautiful pipe springs from earlier. As I sat and ate, I watched some sheep being herded on the other side, wondering if the pungent taste in my water was the taste of sheep poop. But as the afternoon started to close and evening came on, the threatening weather decided to subside and spare its full strength. Instead, we were yet again blessed with that afternoon-evening magic. I felt more tired than ever. But also, I felt like this evening was somehow even better than the previous evenings. As I crested a small hill, I had my first view of the peaks in the distance. It was coming to a close. My attempt at pushing myself to the limit. I knew I had to let go of my numbers goal. My biggest day was still the 37.5 miles into Rawlins. And with every day after that, I'd managed less and less. I finally accepted defeat at 28.4 miles, not even reaching my minimum goal of 30. It's never a great feeling, the sense of failure. But in a way, it was almost a relief to just let it go, accept the result, and take a look around me. I could finally enjoy this last evening in the basin, taking in this amazing open space and the blazing sunset.
That is some beautiful sunset. Beautiful sunset 2 days in a row. 2 days in a row. Mosquitoes for the second week in a row. But no mosquitoes in the winds is what we have told ourselves. But not what other people has told us. So we'll see who's right in the end.
It had gone by fast. Maybe too fast. I felt a kind of sadness, realizing it was already over. Looking back at Colorado, I knew the problem had never been the monotony of the landscape. The source of it had been within me. When I started my numbers game, I pushed harder than I had in a long time, and that feeling of being at the limit woke something inside of me. I felt oddly satisfied even in my failure. Maybe what I needed was simply to feel spent at the end of each day and know I had earned it. I've always had a soft spot for the desert. And even if the basin isn't a true desert, it had the spirit of one. The sparkling colors and the abundance of perfect camp spots. I knew I would miss it. And somehow my expectations had come true. The basin had been exactly what I needed. Just not in the way I thought it would.
Took off our hats to lean on. Would the hand of the devil. And you kept us awake